is just a huge honor for me today to be podcast interviewing Lauren Kelly. She's the Director of Strategic Markets, received for Carrington International Corporation. She received her Bachelor of Arts in Marketing from the University of North Texas and has been in the dental plan industry for more than 8 years. She began her career at Carrington International Corporation in account management, where she helped clients develop strategies to grow their business and served as their primary contact for their day-to-day needs. In 2015, Lauren transitioned into sales and management role and currently oversees the Launch Loyalty sales and support teams. Lauren specializes in helping dental groups develop custom in-house dental discount plans for their office. She has been integral in the development and strategy of the Launch Loyalty platform and has extensive experience in helping dental groups develop and refresh their in-house discount plans. Your solution for dental discount plans and network access, product aggregation, TPA services, and more. Carrington International Corporation is a leading provider of discount programs for health, wellness, and lifestyle services. The diversity and expertise at Carrington's people created an extraordinary suite of products and services designed to provide unparalleled network provider access, significant savings, and unsurpassed value to any client or customer. Give your patients a reason to keep coming back with a 100% compliant, affordable, customizable in-house dental plan offered through the Launch Loyalty. Whether you're an independent dental practice or a dental support organization, if you're looking to take your in-office discount plan to the next level or create a new plan entirely, they're there to help. Launch Loyalty is a full-service partner, and this company was started by a dentist, Dr. Martin Rinker. He's now the dental director at Carrington, but if you go to Dentaltown, and the reason I call them to be on this show, not vice versa, and the reason this isn't a commercial, is because if you just drop in the word Carrington in Dentaltown, so Dentaltown has 250,000 dentists. It's been out there since 1999, and it's got 6 million posts, and the word Carrington pulls up it pulls up 96 different threads discussing the Carrington PPO, dropping connection dental for Carrington, for specialists who are contracted with Carrington, UHC, Guardian Carrington. Carrington is the business of discount plans for your office. There's so many questions on Carrington. So my idea was to try to reach out and get Martin Rinker to come on the show someday, or just to get him to log on Dentaltown, answer questions. But he's an old man like me, so he probably would rather have young Lauren Kelly do it. But Lauren, I really wish you could get on there and answer the 96 different threads discussing your company, and I'm just as confused as they are. So thanks for coming on the show today and telling us what you guys do. So why don't we just start with pretend it's a kid in dental school. That's a quarter of our viewers. She might be a senior graduating next year from a dental school in Texas. What is your company? What exactly do you do?
Sure, absolutely happy to answer that, Howard. So Carrington actually is a national dental discount network, dental network. Sorry about that. We actually have 3 national networks. The majority of our networks are going to be discount dental based, and then we also do have a PPO network. So we got started actually back in 1979. We were founded by 2 dentists who saw a need for patients coming in that didn't have insurance. Eventually, they developed a program and a plan and took that to local businesses and municipalities and sold that plan to those local businesses to drive patients into their practice, and realized pretty quickly that it was really valuable and it was definitely addressing a need in the market. We eventually developed the largest dental HMO in the state of Texas. We sold that and then focused solely on discount dental. Once we started to sell discount dental out in the market, we realized quickly people that didn't have dental insurance most likely didn't have vision insurance or access to savings on prescriptions, chiropractic care, you name it. So we then partnered with over 90 vendor partners to offer this wide array of discount products to the market. So today, Carrington has over 15 million members that have access to our products and services. And then we also are a nationally licensed third-party administrator. So we do the back-end billing, administration, customer service for some pretty large carriers like VSP, MetLife, where we are essentially answering the calls as if we are part of that organization. We're doing the billing for them. And what's really helped, scale our organization is this drive and need for direct consumer products, and the prevalence of consumers out there looking for affordable alternatives to your traditional insurance has really increased our business over the years. And then in the last 5 years or so, we actually began marketing or helping dentists, everyone from a solo practice to large dental groups, create their own dental plans that could be offered at point of service. So I'm sure everyone in the industry is pretty familiar with that. A lot of offices actually according to the summer before last, we did a study, and 39% of the offices we spoke with across the country were offering some sort of in-house discount program or membership program to their patients. So
what percent?
39% according to our study. So we had a bunch of interns working for us the summer before last. We had them call 10 or more offices in every state across the U.S. And 39% of the offices that they spoke with actually had said they offered a in-house discount or membership program. A couple years prior to that, the Consumer Health Alliance published a study about discount programs, and they asked a similar question, and they found 1 out of every 5, so 20% were offering an in-house plan. So just in a couple of years, that number 20% went to 39, and we expect that to continue to grow as more offices are providing plans at point of service.
So you said 39% of dental offices offer discount dental plans or
membership plans.
Okay. So I got a lot of kids listening to this that are still in dental kindergarten school. So this terminology, what's the difference between a discount dental plan, a membership plan, and a PPO plan?
So really the difference between a discount plan and a membership plan, they're almost one and the same. It's really people market it different ways, and the state regulates these plans different ways. But essentially anything that you're charging, when you put a program together and it includes a set of services for free or at a discount, and you charge your patient for that, that's considered a discount plan or a membership plan. And a lot of companies will call them membership plans because the patient's subscribing to access those services or those discounts. And then a PPO plan is usually tied to a risk-bearing program or a self-funded program where an employee will have access to a network of dentists and have a set amount of covered services under that program. So a PPO network would really be something that's attached to an insurance plan.
So for you kids out there, insurance is basically, in 2 words, it's an actuarial risk analysis versus moral hazard of cheating or what have you. 100 people get fire insurance on their house and 1 house burns down. So that company has to accumulate capital in case there's a risk that they have to make a claim, a house burned down. Or think of cars. 100 people have a car. Everybody pays car insurance, and 1 car crash, they need to have money. So a discount dental plan, a membership plan, doesn't have any insurance, actuarial risk analysis, or what you said, risk bearing. They don't have to store capital to make a claim. It's more of a deal, right? It's more of a deal, a discount. We're giving you more for less because you're a member. So it's really not insurance then.
Correct. It's not insurance. And in some cases, it could be a dentist and a patient relationship where they've arranged that, or it could be a dentist and a network relationship. So dentists are agreeing to participate in a network like they would for insurance, but instead of having covered services, the dentist has agreed to a fee schedule where patients that come in with an ID card that have a logo that correlates to that fee schedule, well, it basically is an identifier for that office to charge them at that set rate. So it's really cutting out the insurance and letting the patient pay what they see on that schedule, or letting the patient pay what you've agreed to charge them under that membership plan.
So you said you did your own survey of 10 dental offices in each one of the 50 states, and 39% offered discount dental plans or membership plans. But you quoted another one that said 20%. What was the one you quoted?
That was the Consumer Health Alliance. And they did a study on dental and vision discount programs, I believe back in 2015. And one of the questions they had asked was if the office offered a in-house discount program to their patients, and roughly 20% said they did. So what I thought was interesting about that was in 2015, and then our study was in 2017, just 2 years later, and we found 39% of respondents actually were offering a plan in their office.
So that's crazy growth.
It really is. And I really think that the reason for that is offices are seeing that patients that have these programs are getting more of their treatment plans completed. They're coming into the office more often, and they're better affording the treatment. It's almost like a perception thing. So if you pay to get a discount, you're going to use it. Just like you pay to have a Costco membership, and in exchange for that membership, you're getting products at a wholesale rate or a cheaper rate than you would just going to a regular retailer. Same thing here with these in-house discount programs. The patient's paying to get a lower fee than the other patients or the patients that are just paying cash. And then the data that we're seeing that our clients are sharing with us supports the fact that the patient that actually has the in-house program is spending more per year than the cash paying patient, and in many cases spending more than the PPO patient. So it's a huge win for the office. It's a huge win for our group practice that's wanting to really scale the business and grow. And that's what we're doing. We're really helping offices get these plans off the ground and grow their programs.
Well, yeah, so I found that study increasing access to dental and medical care by allowing greater flexibility and scope and by Richard Mansky. Is that the DDS MBA PhD? Is that the one you were talking about? But anyway, so why is this such a big deal? Well, I mean, anytime something goes from 20% of the dental offices to 40% of dental offices in 4 years is crazy growth. I mean, like take dental laser. I mean, CAD/CAM is a great example. I bought my first CEREC machine in I think 1987 or 1988, and here it is, 2019, and 20% of the dental offices don't even have CAD/CAM. Why do you think this doubled in 4 years from 20 to 40%? What is it about this in the secret sauce that makes it so appealing?
Well, I think a large part of that goes back to the treatment plan acceptance. So if you are offering this patient a plan, let's say their treatment plan was going to cost them $2,000 to get everything done to bring their mouth to a healthy state. If you then show them that $2,000 treatment plan and then present a in-house membership plan next to that, even at a 20% discount, that saves the patient $400, and it allows them to better afford the treatment, and they're getting the treatment done more often because they're getting that discount. And many times the cost of the plan actually is less expensive than, or it's more valuable than actually the treatment. So and I said that a little bit backwards, but the cost of the plan will pay for itself usually in that first visit. So let's say the plan's $199 a year and it offers 20% off of all treatment in the office. On that $2,000 treatment plan, you save $400. You only spent $200 for that. But when you think about it from the dentist's point of view and what is the value to them, the long-term value of that patient is significantly greater when they're on these programs, because again, they're coming into the office more often throughout the year. They're getting more of that treatment completed. So, people don't really pay to get a discount when it comes to their medical and dental expenses. It's just not the norm. So if they're paying, you can get them to buy into your program, they're going to be twice as likely to actually use it and get the treatment done. So we always advocate that offices sell the plan when the patient is in the office, sell that plan to them, present it to them as soon as they come in and you realize that they don't have insurance. But another big reason why I think the market has, shifted, and we've seen such enormous growth in this program, is because insurance really over the years has not changed. So for the last 20 years, dental insurance plans have had these $1,500 annual maximums. They have limitations and exclusions that tell the dentist that really you can't treat that patient, or whatever you're recommending in treatment is not what we're going to approve. And the cost of dental care has only increased over the last 20 years. So when you have the cost cost of care increasing and then the plan actually remaining flat and staying at that $1,500 annual max, it's becoming less and less valuable. So the perceived value of the plans is lowering among consumers. More people are more conscious of their expenses as it relates to medical and benefits. So they're, since employers are shifting from employer-sponsored dental plans to saying, okay, employees, now you have to pay for this 100% on your own, they're saying, well, I don't know if I want to spend $30, $40, $50 a month for this dental insurance that's going to cap me out at $1,500. So I think that consumers are realizing that. More of them are walking in without a plan, without an insurance plan. And then at the same time, too, dentists are certainly realizing that, and they're looking for ways to get around those insurance company and offer something better there at point of service.
Well, it's kind of funny. Dentistry is a cottage industry, and in economics at MBA school at ASU, they taught us a cottage industry is any industry where one player doesn't even have 1% of the market. And when you look at things like, you're in Texas. I mean, is there as many cows and cattle in Texas as there are people? I mean, 4 out of 5 of my grandchildren live in Beeville, and there's just cows in every direction you can see. But cattle is a cottage industry. There's not Cattle Incorporated that owns 20% of the cows in America. And dental offices, take the biggest dental offices out there, Heartland Dental. They don't even have 1,000 dental offices, and there's 150,000 general dental offices in the United States and another 30,000 for specialists. But when you look at the Fortune 500, like Chase Credit Card, Southwest Airlines, you mentioned Costco, they replaced old-fashioned marketing and advertising for new patients a decade ago, because who hasn't flown Southwest Airlines, which was started by Herb Kelleher, who passed away this year in your great state of Dallas, in your Dallas at Love Airfield. Everyone's flown Southwest once. Everyone's gone to Costco once. Everyone's gone to a Chase Bank once. They don't want any new customers. They want their existing customers to remain loyal. So everybody in the sophisticated S&P 500 has gone loyalty program 10 years ago. And you still meet, like you'll go to a small town in Texas, and not to mention any names because I love going there, but, it'll be some dentist my age. I met a dentist out near Beeville, and he still wants 20, 30 new patients a month, and he's been there 40 years in a town that doesn't even have 5,000 people. I'm like, does anything about that not make sense to you? Wouldn't you rather just have 2,000 people in this town of 5,000 that were loyal to you and only went to you? So do you think that loyalty programs have superseded and replaced just marketing and advertising for a new patient?
I don't know if they've completely replaced them, but it's interesting that you bring up that point, because what we're seeing a lot of offices do, especially, the progressive offices, they're replacing those new patient specials, the one and done type thing, with their membership plan marketing. So instead of saying, get an exam, x-ray and cleaning and a whitening kit for coming to see me for $75, they're saying, buy into my practice and let's help you save money. And they're creating that patient for life, because they're realizing the value of that patient over time is going to be greater than getting one brand new patient in. And at the same time, too, in your example where, let's say this office is the only dentist in town, and he's got most of the market, and maybe only 10% of his patient base is paying cash. If you can get that 10% of your patient base to spend twice as much as they did before, you're still winning without having to bring in new patients. So there's all sorts of things that you can do with this. But the real kind of key there is to get your patient on your program, because once they are on the program, they're that much more loyal. They cannot take it from office to office. You aren't competing with the Aetnas of the world. You're actually bringing and tying that patient into your practice and your family.
So I notice, so when someone signs up for a reoccurring monthly revenue cycle, they start a discount dental plan, like Disney's the latest one. I mean, we've had Netflix, we've had Spotify, and now Disney went out there, and of course I have to get it because if you're a grandpa, you need Disney, and if you're me, you need ESPN. I mean, it's all rolled into one. But when you sign up for that, it's just monthly in perpetuity. But a lot of these discount plans, you do all the effort presenting it to the patient, you sell it, they sign up, but then it expires at the end of the year. And then you got to go through that reselling process. I've been wanting someone to come out with something like Netflix, where if I put a lot of effort in getting Lauren Kelly to sign up for my plan, man, I got her on the hook till life until she has enough initiative to get on and cancel her membership plan. It's the same thing when you study the business models of these workout places like Lifetime and all these LA Fitness and all that stuff. They'll tell you that the average person only goes to the gym for like 8 months, but it takes them 38 months to cancel their gym membership. So they get a 30-month free ride. How do dentists get that free ride? How do we get you to sign up for this membership plan, this what you guys are selling? And sure. when they decide to stop brushing, flossing, and visiting the dentist, you're still dinging their credit card once a month for 38 months.
So actually, that's exactly what we do. We actually work with dental practices to come up and customize their plan to make sure it works for their office. So they customize the discounts, the branding, everything is made to look and feel like it's their program, because it truly is. And then on the back end, we're doing administration and we're setting up billing to automate everything. So the office can choose if they want to offer the plan on a monthly basis or if they want to offer it on an annual basis. So when the patient signs up and they pay with their debit card or their credit card or their bank account, we're actually going to retain that in our system because we are PCI compliant. We hold that securely in our system. And then we charge their card each month or each year on an ongoing basis until that patient calls and requests to cancel. So it is auto renewing. Each year the plan will auto renew. We'll send a renewal notice to that office. Again, it's a notice that looks like it's coming from the dentist to remind the patient that it's coming up for renewal and to let them know they can cancel if they want, but if they don't cancel or take action, then the plan auto renews. So we definitely are advocates for, keeping patients on the program and auto renewing anytime you can. So that is the struggle. If a dentist tries to offer a plan on their own and just set something up on their own, then they would have to have their office staff ask those patients to re-enroll every year. But if you're working with us and your plan's on our rails, then all of that automation is already built and set up to make the plan successful.
Well, I mean, that's huge. Are you the only one that does that?
So
the payment card industry data security standard is an information security standard for organizations that handle branded credit cards from the major card schemes. The PSI standard is mandated by the cards brands, but administered by the payment card industry security councils. I was not aware of anybody who would automatically renew.
So there's a few competitors out there that offer a platform to auto renew plans and to manage your plans. But I would say the big difference is those platforms are more DIY programs. So you have the software and then you kind of manage it yourself. We're very hands-on and proactive in helping our clients implement new tools to go out and sell the program, to improve the program. And in addition to having that security on the payment card side, we're also a nationally licensed discount plan organization. It's called a DPO. And there's actually 35 states that regulate discount plans. So a lot of offices out there, another thing that they don't realize is that these plans are regulated.
By who are they regulated? Say that name again.
The discount plan organization is what we are, but in most states, the 35 states that regulate discount plans, those are usually regulated by the Department of Insurance, even though it's a discount program. And then there are around 15 states now that have enacted direct primary care laws that basically say that if you follow these set of rules, then insurance regulation does not apply, but you must follow those DPC laws. And what's interesting is there's some overlap.
DPC laws?
Yeah, direct primary care laws. And what's interesting is there's some overlap between the discount plan laws and the direct primary care laws, and some states have both. So we help our clients navigate that. And basically provide that reassurance that if you're working with us, your plan's going to be compliant. So you see our Carrington disclosure on the bottom of the materials that points any, complaints or, inquiries from the states to come to Carrington first so that we can answer on the dentist's behalf. We review and approve all materials before they're released and before the office starts to sell the program. Because the last thing you want to do is implement this great thing for your practice and then, at the same time, add all this risk to your organization. So the competitors that are out there, I would say they have the automation, but they're not licensed DPOs in many cases. So I encourage all dentists out there that are looking to set up these programs to research the laws in your state and ensure that if you are working with a partner that's not Carrington, that they are licensed and that they are going to bear that compliance risk for your practice.
And by the way, I just have to say that this is one of the things that's always confused me. Like, I remember when I've seen every rodeo 2 or 3 times. Remember when dental insurance back in the day, 10, 20 years ago, decided that they were going to start setting the fees for your patient bleaching and all these things. And a lot of states said, well, what are you talking about? You don't provide any benefit for home bleaching. Why are you setting the fee? Stay out of your lane. But everyone always overreaches, and I couldn't believe it in Arizona, where this the plan does not assume any financial risk. But the government, they had to get involved, and the insurance department had to start passing laws. They passed HB 2113 and Senate Bill 1105, signed by the governor this year, April 17 of 2019. It's like, why couldn't they just say we're insurance and they're not, and leave it at that? But it seems like nobody likes to leave anything alone. It seems like controlling is a very human drive. I mean, everybody, like the old song, everybody wants to rule the world. I still can't figure out why the insurance commissioner had to get involved with this in Arizona. Do you have any insight or why 35 states have to regulate something in the insurance department when this is not insurance and the bearer has no financial risk?
Well, really, I think the main purpose of that is to make sure that these plans aren't misrepresented and to ensure that patients aren't thinking they're signing up for an insurance program when in reality they're not. It is a discount program or it is a membership program. So those rules and regulations are really in place to keep those materials compliant and keep dentists and even all of our marketers out there. Carrington's got thousands of marketers to keep them in line to make sure that our plans aren't misrepresented, and to make sure that the patient or the consumer understands that it's not insurance. Also, there's some things, even if your plan materials are compliant, you said it everywhere that you had that this plan was not insurance, you wouldn't want to at the same time charge, let's say, $1,000 a month for the plan, because then what? That looks like insurance, or it looks like a prepaid program. So there's all kinds of little nuances and things like that. And Carrington likes to err on the side of caution to make sure that we're not putting our clients at risk, and we're not taking any risk there either. So when we review materials, we look at kind of the strictest standards and we follow those to ensure that there is no room for error there. So, but I do think that it has a lot to do with just making sure the plans aren't misrepresented to the consumer.
I find it, I want to teach the kids something that, as far as treatment plan acceptance, I've said this 1,000 times, and you might think, oh, you've already said that before, but you don't get it. I mean, there's 211,000 Americans who are alive today with an active dental license, and these average Americans will buy 13 new cars between the ages, before they're 76 years old. The average new car will be $33,560. And I can assure you that there's a dentist in your zip code who sells a case for about the price of an average new car about once every Friday from age, I don't know, they get out of school 25, they learn complete dentistry by, say, 35, and they do that from age 35 to 65. The other 95% of all the dentists in America will never sell one case their entire career worth the average new price of a car, which is only $33,560. So the Americans, the biggest thing they'll buy is is a house. The next biggest thing they'll buy is a car. And you can't sell them one car in your whole life, but they have no problem going out and purchasing 13 new cars before they're 76 years old. Lauren, not to put you on the spot, when's the last time you bought a new car?
I actually bought a new car this year.
Yeah, and did Medicare pay for it? Did Medicaid?
No.
Was it?
No,
Obviously, your employer paid for it. I mean, you can't buy a car by yourself. Shouldn't the government or your employer buy all your new cars?
That would be amazing.
Yeah, it's an insane concept, but this is what people think about healthcare, like that $33,000 car. I mean, that would be, it would just be insane for people to think, oh, well, I can't spend that money on myself. So what I used to do with dental insurance is, people would start talking about a predetermination, this and that. I'd always say, look, the maximum your insurance is going to pay is $1,000. So I'll just, your case is $18,000. I'll just take $1,000 off for right now, regardless of if the insurance pays or not. Let's just take that out of the equation. So now the patient has just eliminated that whole thought and say, well, the most insurance will pay is $1,000. You just discount $1,000. Now they're back to the deal. Do you want a new car? Do you want to redo your teeth? I mean, you're 40 years old, you're missing teeth, you don't like your smile, you're in pain. Do you want me to just fix this one tooth that's in pain? Or would you like to walk out of here with a brand new smile? And the reason dentists don't do that is because they don't present it. And the reason they don't present it is somewhere deep down in their back of their reptilian cortex, they literally think that dentistry is so unimportant that if your boss didn't pay for it or the government didn't pay for it, I mean, you shouldn't even do it. And then, so now I've lectured around in 50 countries. Well, half the countries on earth have no form of dental insurance. And a lot of these countries don't even understand it. They're like, well, if you drink Coca-Cola and eat chocolate and need 10 cavities, well, shouldn't you pay for that to really feel the impact of your personal decisions? And let's not get your boss and the government in between you and your Dr. Pepper and your Butterfinger. I mean, you need to own it. And when humans have skin in the game, they own it. And my gosh, so just financing is a treatment plan presentation, financing, insurance, membership plans. I found it interesting. The first words out of your mouth, Lauren, were, this is going to help your treatment plan acceptance rate. And it's like, yeah, but I know my homies. That just whooshed right over their head. So I want you to go back to that. How is this going to increase treatment plan acceptance rate?
Well, if you think about it, just like you mentioned, most patients that come in that don't have insurance, usually they're in pain, they have an issue, right? And they're there because that pain finally drove them into the practice. And most of the time, if they don't have insurance, they're just scraping pennies to try to pay for the one tooth that's in pain. But if you have them take a couple steps back and present to them the full treatment plan, show them what you need to do to really get that mouth healthy, and then you put that fee alongside. So let's say back to the $2,000 example, put that total in one column, and in the next column, write out the fees under your in-house discount program and compare those right there. You don't have to be a good salesperson just to show the math there that the plan is, those treatment fees are going to be less expensive with the in-house membership program. So now the patient's like, well, you know what? Instead of just getting this one tooth done, I'm going to get these 3 things done. Or, okay, I've already paid to get access to this discount, so I'm going to take care of 1 or 2 things today, and then I'll be back in a month or 2 to get this other treatment done. And there's kind of it creates a sense of urgency for the patient. If they know they've paid to get discounts for the year, then they are going to use it. Another really neat tool that you can do is incorporate free cleanings into your programs as well. So then you have patients coming in every 6 months that probably weren't coming in before because they weren't getting their teeth cleaned because they thought it was going to be too costly without insurance. So now they're coming in every 6 months, and that presents another opportunity for the dentist to diagnose and treat that patient.
That is interesting. When you started to say when the patient comes in and they don't have dental insurance, I want to tell you what the dental office team starts thinking. They start telling the person They feel sorry for them. They're a victim, and man makes them smaller. They say, "Well, I'm sorry because you don't have any dental insurance," and it's like where does that come from? When you walk on a car lot, no one says, "I'm sorry you don't have a new car." When you drive by a house, no one's out there saying, "I'm sorry this isn't your house." I mean, why? When you make a human feel like a victim, they feel helpless, and humans don't like to feel helpless. They like to be in control. Some team members go in there and say, "Oh my gosh, if you're going to do this too, look at this too," then they start talking about complete dentistry, like the late Peter Dawson talked about his entire life. And when they don't have dental insurance, I mean, I don't care. I didn't have dental insurance to buy my iPhone. I didn't have dental insurance to buy. I can't think of anything I bought this year that took insurance. And it's just, and so the people who make dental insurance have the power that they do today is all coming from the dental office team. They're the ones that just bring up this false god every conversation. "Well, I don't know if insurance will pay for that. I mean, could you imagine looking in a car and saying, "Well, I want a moonroof." And the first thing he said, "Well, I don't know if the government will pay for a moonroof. If you have a moonroof, I don't know." I mean, just stop worshiping insurance and start worshiping optimum oral health, and you'll have a couple cases that will change your life. And I always refer to this one I'll never forget, where when our full mouth rehab was done and she looked at the handheld mirror, she was standing up. She had to take a knee. I mean, she had to take a knee. I mean, and you deprive all of these people from taking a knee that have enough money to buy 13 new cars in their lifetime because you're all caught up that Delta's not going to cover it. And and if you say dental insurance, well, who's going to be the dentist for this patient? If all the dentists work for the dental insurance company, where are my grandchildren going to go when they need a dentist? I don't want him going to some dental insurance agent that got a dental degree from Baylor, but really works for Blue Cross and Blue Shield and is only going to tell you whatever the talking points are from Blue Cross and Blue Shield. I want my grandchildren to walk in there and say, "Hey, you don't brush and floss your teeth. You got 5 cavities or $250 each, and you're going to give me your Chase debit card, and we're going to do those today." So they don't turn into 5 root canals and your grandpa starts rolling over in his grave. But so the problem with dental insurance is the dentist. And the mafia said the fish rots from the head down. So when the dentist is always talking about dental insurance, and I also think it's funny. Here's the two thing that drives me crazy. The dentist is always the one that brings up insurance, but then he never wants to talk about the price or how much it costs. Well, how much does this cost? Oh, well, I don't know. Megan will figure out your dental insurance and what your max is. It's like, what? She just asked you how much this costs. Why didn't you look her right in the eye and say, the whole thing's $5,000? And, most of us guys work Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5. But a case like yours, I'd like to just do it all at one time. What we'd like to do on a case like yours, just come in Friday. I don't have any patients, and we'll meet you here at 8 o'clock, and it'll probably take about 3 or 4 hours. In fact, we have an anesthesiologist. Have you ever had a baby? Did you have what is it called? The
epidural.
Epidural. If you want that, here's a number to the anesthesiologist. He can meet you. You could talk to him over the phone. He could meet you down here 30 minutes for the appointment. In fact, when I walk in the room, you could be sleeping. But why don't we just do all of this at once? Are you thinking you'd rather just stay awake, maybe laughing gas, or are you thinking you'd want an epidural? And see, now we're working towards, you're going to make a great decision. I'd rather you max out your credit card on your teeth than in a Gucci purse at what's that mall in Dallas that everybody
North Park.
What is it?
Is it North Park or Galleria?
The Galleria. Oh my God. You walk in the Galleria, they have purses for $5,000. I'm like, who made these? Was it like Tibetan monks, softening the leather with their teeth? How do you get to a $5,000 purse? And then you go into the dental office and they can't even comprehend presenting a $5,000 treatment, but the Galleria sells $5,000 purses all day long. How many pairs of shoes does the average girl that walk in the Galleria own in her closet today?
Yeah.
And how much would the average pair of shoe cost? would you say?
Probably, I'd say, they're probably walking out with 1 to 2 pairs a day per person, and the shoes are probably anywhere from, $80 to
Oh,
$200.
okay. There's my point. $200. That's a filling. So you didn't brush, you didn't floss, you ate Reese's
Sure.
peanut butter nuts, you got a cavity, and it's $200. They don't blink at spending $200 on a pair of shoes or $1,000 on an iPhone. But the reason they blink in a dental office is because of the dentist and the culture, the dysfunctional culture they've created. And then at the end of their career, 95% have never restored one full mouth to complete dentistry. And this is where we got to make an impact. And you're obviously making an impact with 15 million members. I mean, my gosh, how did you get 15?
We have 15 million members in our dental discount networks and other networks out there and other products out there, as well as services. So that's across all Carrington clients. But back to your point about dentists in this mindset, they've got to get out of the mindset that only the insurance patient is valuable, because the math is proving itself now, and the data is showing that the patient that's on these membership plans is spending more money in many cases than even your PPO patient. Not to mention, we have all of these baby boomers, out of retirement, hitting 65 and needing care. So there's actually 2 generations that are entering that market that are needing care, and they have the funds to get this treatment. Actually, I can't give you the exact numbers, but on our DSO sides, if you look at our large groups that are marketing these membership plans, more than 50% of those patients enrolling in the programs are over 65 years old. So you have this huge market of patients that have an appetite for a plan with the dentist, and it's up to the dentist to make sure they have these programs in place to be able to get those patients, because pretty soon they're going to shop around. If you present someone a $5, $10, $15, $20,000 treatment plan, they're going to make sure that they're not overpaying for that. And you don't want them to go to the dentist down the street because he had an in-house membership program. There's so much value in getting those patients on these programs. And I completely agree that we've got to get out of that mindset that only the insurance patient is valuable.
Yeah, and again, this is the dentist. This is their whole kit and caboodle. This is something they're going to have to figure out. I mean, there's only so much you can do. I mean, I don't understand how they love dentistry. They would never walk around with 10 cavities and a missing tooth and all this stuff like that. But it's just one of the biggest mental blocks in dentistry is that someone else has to be responsible for. You want the government responsible for your housing? Would you like to just close down the housing market and we'll all live in government housing? Would you like to just close down all the car dealerships and we just use government transportation? I mean, humans are most motivated when they have skin in the game. They're making it, like, look at housing. They may want an apartment, a 2-story house, a 1-story house, a trailer. The odds are all over the board. And when you start having dental insurance try to corral them all in one area, like, look what they've done. They basically killed inlays and onlays. You got to file down the whole tooth for a crown if you want the insurance to pay for half. Whereas if you have a membership plan and you're sitting there and you remove the MOD amalgam, you remove the decay, and you're like, you know what? I just want to eschew this functional cusp and take it from there. Well, I don't have to worry about some non-dentist and some dental insurance bureaucracy who's never went to a day of dental school or hygiene school telling me, oh, we don't cover inlays and onlays. It's like, well, are you a dentist? No. Okay, so then you're practicing dentistry without a license. That's illegal, right? But they got too much money, too many lawyers and all this stuff like that, and it just doesn't get about. I want you to focus on 2 things specifically. When we look at the dental industry, you know, it's like $117 billion last year in the United States as far as people paying a dentist, $117 billion. And so that would pay for all the equipment, supply, everything in dentistry. So about 211,000 licensed dentists. They employ well over 1 million people globally. That's $500 billion with over 10 million employees. That's how much 8 billion humans value their mouth. That basically, I mean, it's a huge, huge industry. But that industry is pretty much just growing, 1.5 to 3.5% a year, going out into perpetuity for fillings, cleaning exams. The only double-digit growth we see is in clear aligners and implants, and those are double-digit growth. Insurance doesn't pay for clear aligners, and they don't pay for implants. Hello.
Great point. Yeah.
Hello. In fact, you should change the name from the Carrington Dental the Carrington. What do you call it? The Carrington.
We actually market our administrative services under Launch Loyalty. That's our brand for the administrative services.
So it's called the Launch Loyalty program, or just Launch Loyalty?
Yeah, Launch Loyalty, and it's powered by Carrington. But you can find us at launchloyalty.com.
I would change the name to Clear Aligner Dental Implant Lunch Loyalty. So talk about those two things. So what does this have to do with clear aligners? There's not one girl in the Galleria that walked in there, didn't look at her smile that morning and didn't wonder if she needs clear aligners. So talk about clear aligners and implants and how you think this plan will be a game changer for them.
Well, I mean, that's a great point you make. The fact that those are the two largest growing markets, and the only two with a double-digit growth, I think proves something right there, that patients that, those services are not covered, and they're still paying for that treatment and affording that treatment. And if you think about it, it's really two totally different segments. You've got people as young as 18 using the clear aligners, and then you've got implants are traditionally for your, 50-plus market. So both sides of the spectrum are paying for treatment that wasn't covered by insurance. So if you can get more of your patients on your in-house program, they're going to be more loyal to your practice, and they're more likely to get those procedures done as well. And we've got offices that'll actually carve out special discounts for clear aligners or have a special arrangement on implants. We have GDs who are actually partnering up with specialists in their areas to funnel patients back and forth because they're not competing, but it creates this really attractive program for the patient. There's all kinds of things that you can do with it. And I like doing that targeted marketing where if you want to focus on selling implants this month, use that in your marketing for your in-house discount program. And a way you could do that is, for instance, if you want to run a social media campaign, you could say 20% off clear aligners with, Dr. Farran's membership program. There's all sorts of things that you can do to cater to each demographic, and you should specifically target people with specific procedures, and you can do that with your membership program.
Okay, so, and again, this isn't a commercial. There's no money changing hand, but Lauren did promise me she'd buy me a Gucci purse from the mall with matching shoes. So when you go to your website, launchpatients.com, the first thing you see is Launch Loyalty Solutions. We specialize in helping dental offices create and successfully manage in-house discount plans and increase treatment plan acceptance, boost patient loyalty, and attract new patients. But you have two solutions. I want you to explain it. One is a semi-custom in-house plan best suited for independent practices and small groups. The other one is a fully custom in-house plans best suited for mid to large group practices. And I know the DSO kingpins are a big fan of this show because they always text me and stuff after some of these shows. And is it safe to say, Lauren, that I always tell companies when they're launching something, if this makes smart sense business, spend all your time, explaining this to DSOs because they obviously got the business of dentistry down. My buddies, if you're a solo practitioner, you'd rather go to a bone grafting conference than anything to do with dental business. So explain the difference between a semi-custom in-house plan and a fully custom in-house plan.
Sure. So really, we're doing that to cater to both markets. An office that's an independent practice with just one location is usually looking for a quick solution that they can implement, low cost. They aren't too particular about really having branding and having fully custom marketing language. So they just want to know what are our tried and proven methods, what materials work, and we can quickly put together a program for them within 30 days. So our semi-custom solution allows you to customize a plan so that it has your logo. You still customize the discounts and things like that. However, it's more of a speed to market solution, and you use some of our web templates and our brochure and marketing templates that are already effective, and we pop in colors and logos to kind of go with that dentist color scheme without having to spend months and months creating it, which gets that plan out there quicker for the dentist, and it's a low cost option. So that's really what our semi-custom solution is. And then on the other side, we have fully custom plans. And by the way, we could create a fully custom plan for independent dentist if you would like, or if he just has one practice, or maybe let's say we have a small group of like 3 locations and they're looking to scale and they know they're very particular about branding. The branding and the customization is really what sets that fully custom option apart from semi-custom. So we will do everything from custom writing the language. We'll take the office's set of branding guidelines and make sure we're following that when we're creating the materials. And then we can get really into the weeds on the fee schedules. We can have different fee schedules by location and things like that. So really the difference is more in the setup and the customization, the level of customization in the materials. But that allows us to cater again to both that independent practice and then your large, 200 plus location groups as well.
So Chad Hendricks on your page, who's the owner of Clear Choice Consulting, says our prior in-house discount plan had only 2,500 members in 3 years. After partnering with Carrington, our plan exceeded 5,000 members in only 6 months. Carrington made it easy and is a great partner. Chad Hendricks, why do you think that is? That's huge. I mean, they have 2,500 members in 3 years. And instead of doing their own in-house plan, they do it with you. You get to 5, that you double it in 6 months. How does something like that happen? What do you think makes something like that happen?
Well, I think a big part of that is.
Or did you just send them some shoes to say that?
Right. No. We were very hands-on with the training of all of their offices, and we are, no matter what size client you are, when we can, we like to train in person. And with that particular group, we saw almost all of the offices, or at least the office managers in person, to do trainings to go through not only how to use our tools, but how and when to present the plan to the patient, what phrases to use, to share, success stories from our other clients and what they're doing to really get these patients to sign up. So we are very much we develop a partnership relationship with our clients, because the success of our business is dependent upon the success of the plan. So everything from that training to giving them all the right tools and marketing materials to get the word out about their plan, all of that goes in hand to make it successful. But I think in particular, we have a really great training team. We not only have our own trainer here in the Launch Loyalty division, but we also have 9 client relations representatives that work for Carrington that are working on our massive accounts that also help in providing this hands-on training. So you have that dedicated support, and you have the expertise of a team that has been selling plans for many years and knows what it takes to make the plan successful.
So it's your success so far, who's biting more on this bait? Is it DSOs because they understand business, or is it private?
I think that the DSOs were probably the first to adopt the concept, but shortly after we saw private practices having the same interests, and now I think really it's a good mix of everyone. But if you look at the makeup of all the DSOs and the number of practices they make up, and then you look at private practice, obviously a larger chunk of the market from the DSO side actually has these programs, but the independent dentists are right behind them. I think it's a little bit tougher to get the fee-for-service dentists to understand that not getting 100% of your UCR that you're typically used to getting from your cash paying patient is something that you're going to have to take a risk on. But when they have these programs in place, after a year's time, they will see that that patient that was paying 100% of UCR maybe only came in, one time a year, and now they're coming in 2-3 times a year and getting more treatment done. So knocking that down to, let's say, 70% of UCR on each procedure, still at the end of the day made that dentist more money because more treatments being performed. And not to mention, we wrap in vision discounts, prescription discounts into these programs to increase the value of the plan. And now it becomes a really good marketing tool, word of mouth marketing tool, because patients love it and they're telling their friends and family about it. And you're creating this, whole new network of patients that you can bring into your office.
So if they do it with you, you also add vision, and what else?
Yes, we add vision discounts, LASIK discounts, and prescription. And that's really up to the dental office whether we add that or not. But for us, we strongly and highly recommend it. We actually don't charge the dentist anything extra for that. We don't charge the patient anything extra. But we do that because we know it increases the value of that dentist program. And also, every time the patient's out using that ID card that was for Dr. Farran's membership program and using it to get their diabetic care medication at the pharmacy or to get their new pair of glasses every year, they're reminded that they got that program from you. So that creates more loyalty to your practice, to the plan, and increases the value. And these are large national networks that we've used to provide that access of discounts on the vision and prescription. So it's not like we went out and cut contracts with different optometrists and pharmacies. We use actually iMed for the vision side, and then we use United Networks of America and Envision for the pharmacy side. And those networks are contracted with your CVS pharmacies, Walgreens, Rite Aid, Target. So those are all participating. And then on the vision side, you've got your Lens Crafters, Pearl Vision, you name it, all the big box retailers are in that network as well. So the dentist can rest assured that patients will have access to participating providers. So again, it just adds value to the plan. And that's been a really big point of difference for us from our competitors. And, if it's working for the Carrington plans, we're going to try it, and it's going to work for the membership plans as well. So we like to, maintain those same principles.
So who does your pharmacy benefits? You said vision discount was iMed, small I, MID?
So iMed is the vision network, and that's EYEMED.
Oh, cute. It's EYEMED?
Yes.
Wow, that's a great name. I never heard of that. So they're okay. So iMed's for your vision, and they're out of Ohio, and then let me
And they've got thousands of ophthalmology clinics across the country.
Okay, so, and then who did your and then the prescriptions from who?
United Networks of America. And they will provide discounts on your generic and your brand name drugs at thousands of pharmacies across the country. Like I said, your CVS, Walgreens, your Rite Aids, those are all in network. And we give all of our members and the dentist members access to a link where they can search for providers that are in their area, and they can see, where they can use their card.
Yeah, so iMed provides optometrists affiliated with Lens Crafters, Pearl Vision, JCPenney, Optical, Sears. Have any of those companies, Sears, Target, JCPenney's, or Walgreens, have any of those guys contacted you for this to work with you guys?
No, that iMed really holds a relationship with them. iMed's our vendor partner, and they hold the relationships with each of those retailers. So no, we haven't been directly contacted by them. We just, we go through an extensive vetting process with all of our vendors, and iMed's someone we've been working with for years, and it's a valuable product. So that's why we've incorporated it into our programs.
And then on this United Networks of America, so what do you think? So is that's not related to the United Dental Insurance?
No, it's a large national pharmacy discount network, and patients get access to discounts on their generic and brand name prescriptions. They also have a tool where the patient can type in their zip code and then type in the name of the drug that they're needing to get access to, and see what exactly they would pay at each pharmacy. So they can see their savings right there, which is really nice.
Well, can I be a spoiled brat and make this show all about me? Can you summarize all this and email me so I can show this to my team and see what they think about it?
Sure, absolutely.
I would. So my email is howard@dentaltown.com.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. This is so interesting. And the other thing about Americans is sometimes I feel sorry for Americans, because when you go to countries like China and Brazil, where there's no dental insurance, people's thoughts aren't cluttered with all this stuff. Like, well, I wonder, well, I'll have to change a job because my job doesn't have dental insurance. So they like their job and they're not going to change their job and it doesn't have dental insurance. So we're done thinking about teeth, because I'm intellectually challenged, because if my job doesn't have dental insurance, well, I obviously can't go to the dentist. And I'm texting you this right now on my $1,000 iPhone. I mean, it's just such a bizarre concept. So what do you think about KKR trying to buy Walgreens right now in a leveraged buyout? I mean, for $57 billion. I wonder why KKR, which owns Heartland, I mean, that's the largest dental office chain in America, in the world, as far as I know, with 1,000 locations. And the people that own Heartland are now trying to buy Walgreens. This is a rapidly changing industry. Healthcare, 17 cents of every dollar. It's the biggest chunk of change. You saw Warren Buffett and Jeff Bezos and Jamie Dimon of Chase Bank. Now they've got together and they're trying to brainstorm. And they ask them, why are you guys so interested in this? And they're like, dude, it's the largest expense in America. 17 cents of every dollar goes to healthcare, and we're competing with all these other countries who don't even spend 9% on healthcare. So your job is just going to get, it's going to move faster and faster and faster and faster. I can't believe we went over an hour, and I feel like we spent, my fault, we spent way too much time on launch payments, launchpatients.com and all that stuff. So just in overtime, can you explain your other website, carrington.com? Learn more about our PPO and discount networks and how to increase patient volume and loyalty with Carrington. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. So our Carrington dental networks are really what's going to drive new patients into your practice. So we have fee schedules for all of our networks, and we've got 3 discount related fee schedules, and then we have our PPO schedules. And essentially on the discount side, patients that have access to that plan will pay those set fees. So the dentist gets access to that patient and gets cash at the time of service. There's no insurance component there. And it's really a huge growing segment for us. Obviously, dental is the core of what we do. However, what we've seen as this market shifted from an employer-sponsored dental benefit to 100% voluntary, we're starting to see a lot of large employers offer dental discount plans alongside insurance as an alternative, or even as a supplement to their traditional PPO plans. So we have more dentists now adopting discount programs and joining our networks. I encourage all of you to do so. We have large employers such as American Airlines offering our dental plans to their employees, Cracker Barrel. We have a large oil and energy company called Southern Company. We have White Castle. So that list continues to grow, and we're not there to replace insurance. When we approach these employers as Carrington, we're there to be an additional option, a low-cost, affordable alternative to insurance that also can actually supplement a PPO plan. So we've got our large national dental networks. We've got our 90 plus vendor partners that allow us to aggregate discount programs and present a package that fits each client, as well as our TPA arm, which is under Carrington Benefit Solutions, where we provide the back end administration, customer service, billing, claims processing for large carrier clients. So that's in a nutshell. Carrington really has their hands in so many different things, and we are definitely a well-rounded organization. But the reason why we break off into these verticals, such as launch loyalty, is so that we can be focused and experts in those areas. And in 2018, we actually also launched our own proprietary telemedicine network called Dial Care, and that is a medical product. So it's a telemedical program where employees, members that have access to that product can call and speak with a doctor, a physician, and be sent a prescription to their can be prescribed medication to their nearest pharmacy. And telemedicine is no secret. I mean, that's been out for a number of years, but we decided to launch that a couple of years ago because we were distributing a lot of telemedicine, and we knew we could really do a better job of reporting and customizing things for clients than what we were seeing in the industry, and that's been tremendously successful as well. And actually in 2020, we're launching Dial Care mental health as well, where people all over the world will be able to call and be able to speak to licensed counselors. So that's in a nutshell Carrington and what we do.
And I just want to end. I know the hour's over. We're at hour 5, but I just want to end on one thing, and that is you said that people are getting caught up on not getting the 100% of their UCR. Whenever a dentist tells me that, I always say, okay, look, I took my 30-day dental MBA, which, and it's for free. I put it up on YouTube. I put it up on iTunes. If you're listening to this on iTunes, Dentistry Uncensored, I also have Dr. Farran's 30-day dental MBA. And let me just tell you something. You have fixed costs and variable costs. Your fixed cost is your, rent, mortgage, equipment, build out, computer, insurance, malpractice, professional dues, on and on and on. You pay your rent every month if you're closed, see one patient, 10 patients, or 100. The only variable costs, the costs that are increase or decrease versus seeing one patient versus 10 versus 100, is just going to be staff, labor, and labor, lab, and supplies. And none of your fees are linked to time. All your costs are time-based. You have your fixed costs, you pay your rent, whether you're open or closed, and then all your other costs is the time of a labor, lab, supplies, all this stuff like that. So you say you want $1,000 for a crown, and the PPO will only give you $650, so you won't do the crown. And then there's other people say, okay, Lauren, you need a crown, 3 fillings, and we're going to do the whole thing in one appointment. Well, if you do the crown, the 3 fillings, and you do the whole thing in one appointment, what is your break-even point per day? Take the average dental office only opens 16 days a month. So go back last year, take what your average, all your bills paid for staff, labor, all your bills, and then divide it by the number of days that you're open in the office. And then if you want an A plus in overhead, 50%, you would sit there and say that's your break-even point for the day. So when most dental offices do this, they say, okay, we have to do $2,500 to pay the bills. Okay, we'll just come in. We're going to do $2,500. We're not going to schedule a lunch. We don't know when we're going to get a cancellation, a no-show. We might have emergencies. We might have people come in. We have an extra operatory. The people who collect the most money and net the most money all have 1 or 2 extra operatories, so that when someone calls and say, my tooth just broke, they don't start flipping through saying, well, I'm trying to find a chair. I'm trying to find a chair. No, you found a dental office. Of course we have a chair. And you got to start getting your mind to, we need to collect $2,500 to pay all the bills today. And then everything after that, we're in the profit zone. And if you think your UCR fee is somehow magically related to your overhead of people, lab, labor, supplies, you're actually out of your mind. So listen to that 30-day dental MBA. But Lauren, it was an honor to have you come on the show today. I would like to do a follow-up podcast with Martin Rinker. You said he was one of the 2 dentists who started Carrington International. Who was the other one?
Actually, Dr. Rinker is our owner and chairman today, so he's active in the organization and is the primary owner. So I think Dr. Rinker would be the perfect person for you to speak with.
Well, tell Martin I would love to meet him, and the only thing I'm sure we'll ever disagree about is the Dallas Cowboys, which is not an accredited, credentialed football team like the Arizona Cardinals. But since 4 out of my 5 grandchildren live up the street from Houston, I did watch the Houston Texans game. And but anyway, Lauren, thank you so much for coming on the show today. And
thank you for having me.
It was an honor, and best of luck to you guys. And tell Martin I can't wait to meet him.
All right, I will. Thank you so much.
All right, have a great day.
You too.